Not much you can do with Matz, and they won't eat the money in DFA. No, but he could be a reliever. He could be an expensive reliever and try to find his form that way. You could make the case that they should give him one more start. You could also make the case that they've got to be desperate right now, and it would make sense to do something with it. I won't criticize either direction. If they give him another chance, or if they say, nope, we're going to be proactive and skip, or maybe it's just we're going to skip because we've got an off day coming up and we can afford to. We bump everybody else up one with the Wainwright return. We still have Woodford in there, take one more start, however it needs to look. And then they're able to skip him for one start that way. That's probably what they'll do, honestly, because the days will line up to where everybody kind of stays on the same schedule. Wainwright sort of falls into the Matz spot for one outing. And then the next time through, you go, okay, is it going to be Woodford, or is it going to be Matz, or is it going to be Liberatore? That would buy them more time. And it would also buy time to see how the team looks, to where they could overreact and say, we're screwed. We got to do something right now because we're losing games. Or they could go on a little bit of a streak and go, maybe let's pump the brakes on removing a guy who we've signed for 2 more years and busting his confidence. Maybe it's we're going to skip you once, figure out a way to work with you off the field and say, here's what you want to work on. And maybe they can put that into practice and have Matz become the guy that they thought they were getting when they signed him. That would be a really sensible way to go about it, I think. And the timing is perfect, too, because with Wainwright coming back, you can do it without really missing a beat. And at the same time, you don't have to demote Jake Woodford yet. You can say, hey, Jake, we want to reward you for the way you've been pitching. Like you've been battling as one of our starting pitchers. We can make this move without actually having to kind of let his hopes down. He earns one more start with what he did earlier this week, and that kind of massages everything at once. I honestly think that's exactly how they should handle it, the more I talk myself through it. Too bad the team's already over. The team stinks. Andrew, I know you feel that way. It might not be over, though. It's still April, and they did win today. So let's at least table the season over stuff for like a moment if we could. Matz was good out of the pen last year. Bring up Libby. I totally could see a world in which that makes sense. Eric says he thought Matz had been improving every start. Yesterday wasn't all that bad. Yeah, but it was one of those frustrating starts for Matz. He goes 90 pitches to get through 4 innings, just not efficient. Base runners all around, had more walks than you'd like to see. I agree, though. That's not like the egregious start that you fire somebody over. That's not the start that you remove somebody out of the rotation over, but it could be a very fortuitous time to take a breather and say, we like what Woody's given us. Let's let him go one more. We're going to just give Matz, it doesn't even have to be a full 5 days. You can give him an extra 3 days to just take a beat, see if you can't choose his next start in a way that's like, okay, he's a lefty. Which team should we put him against so that we can have him maximize his ability? Maybe you've got a lefty heavy lineup coming up and they can do it that way. I think there's some merit to that potentially. I agree, though, like he wasn't egregiously bad, and he's a guy you have signed for 2 more years beyond this year. So as much as people don't like to hear about the money, that does play somewhat of a factor to me.